What's up, everybody? 101 MMA Clinic here. We're back with some more fight talk. This time, UFC 286, just yesterday. So we got a pretty high-level event over in the UK. Edwards versus Usman. Let's get right into this main card. All right. So in case you missed it, I don't know where you guys were. Maybe you missed that it was at 4 o'clock Central Time. But here are some of the results for the main event or main card. Edwards defeats Kamaru Usman via decision. Justin Gaethje defeats Rafael Fiziev versus majority or via majority decision. Gunnar Nelson getting the submission in round one against Brian Barbarena. Jennifer Maia gets it done with a unanimous decision against Casey O'Neill. And Marvin Vettori was able to get that decision against Roman Dolidze. This is just the main card, but Alex, did you see anything worthwhile in the prelims? I was only able to catch the main card this time.
Yeah, a couple of fights. They were interesting. Like we had. Can you go to the early prelims? Like here we had.
I'm sorry, you said early
Yeah,
prelim.
the previous one. Sorry.
Okay.
So on this one, what was really interesting, it was on Janal Ashmo's. However you want to say, like it was like a brutal KO. Like the Sam Patterson, and I think he was favorite going in that fight. And um, unfortunately, I didn't play on this underdog. Like he had a brutal KO. Sam was like after that, like wrestling with the referee. It was long time. Like yeah, it was brutal. Like I mean, I'm laughing, but it was really bad KO. Like and oof, it was bad to see. It was funny when you look, but like it was bad, and I think it was for a while, um, until they explained him that match is over. And I think Herb Dean was a referee, like, and I think he was late with because like it was straight right, if I remember good. He was down on the ground, and there was additional ground and pound. I think he even woke him up one time and put him to sleep again. It was pretty bad. That's worth mentioning. And also Muhammad Mokaev,
Oh,
in the last round before
bro,
he got
I did
submitted.
see this fight.
You
This is
saw
the
that.
one prelim fight. This is fucking crazy, man.
Yeah,
Mik- Makayev dominating Filio for most of the fight, and then he gets caught in that knee bar that he just said, "Fuck it, I'm not gonna tap. I'm just gonna let everything get destroyed in that knee bar." That was horrific, man.
yeah, I'm really interested to see how long it's gonna take him to recover. Is it really worth it? Like to take like I think it's gonna be pretty solid injury. Like he's
Yeah.
like went in minus, and he's not Meow brother, so that he can go in that direction.
Interestingly enough, like the Meow Bros, they said not too long ago they regret like having all those leg locks go because now they don't have any knees. And I'm sure Muhammad's gonna, find that out eventually, like, yo, maybe he should have just tapped. But again, he's an undefeated fighter, and because he didn't tap and was able to get the sub, he remains undefeated. But goddamn, that was really bad.
Yeah. I mean, like props to him, to manage and to survive, and even like to come back and finish. That
Yeah.
makes it even more impressive. But like we're gonna see how his career it's gonna go further.
Hmm.
So let's see on the early prelims. I think they made a mistake. This was early prelims. This for prelims, but never mind. What we have worth mentioning, yeah, bad injury of Dushko Todorovic, same knee. It happened pretty early in the match. I had some money on him because he is my countryman. Let's see how that is gonna play out. And also, we had like impressive victory from Jake Hadley, and I think he is asking for Mokaev. I think they have some beef between two of them, so that's gonna be interesting to see how it's gonna play out. And
Have to wait for a little bit. I feel like that guy's gonna need his knee to be reconstructed or something.
yeah, I think so too. Yeah, more or less that's it. That's it. What I have on this
I
one.
saw the ending for Dushko and the knee. It looked bad, like it was just an injury, just like you said. Was the injury caused during the fight, or do you think it was before the fight? Because I only saw the finish.
I believe it was before the fight because it wasn't that bad. Like, just like little bit more weight put on that knee. It didn't look anything
Oh,
super, like, it's just like one of those situations. Maybe it's freak accident. Also he had like one heavy kick landed on that leg before, but I think most likely it's something that he had from before. Like that's how it looked to me. I didn't call to check out and to get some additional information. What did he enter the fight with the injury? And I didn't hear anything about that. So it is how it is. I don't know. We wish him fast recovery to him and to Mokaev. More to Dushko because like it was an accident,
yeah,
and he is my countryman. Then Mokaev, who just like didn't want to tap. He got caught. He decided to risk it and to take that injury. So it is how it.
yeah. It's like you always hope for all these fighters to make it to the fight 100%, but the reality is like most of them are never 100%, and it's just a matter of how damaged are they and is it going to affect the fight, which kind of brings us to our main event, Edwards versus Usman. I don't want to take anything away from Edwards. I think he proved that, last night or yesterday, he was the better fighter. But it's always going to be a question of like how damaged was Usman going into that. Like he always talks about the injuries leading up to the fights, but even if you take out his injuries, because he's always been able to win despite that, do you think he looked a little tentative, a little hesitant in there? Maybe thinking too much of that head kick from last time?
Yeah, for sure. Like he was always worried about that. And that's why I pick Edwards even in this fight. Like and something like that happens. Like doesn't matter how mentally tough you are. It's still there's like a little worm in your head.
Hmm.
And I think like Edwards had a perfect strategy for this match. And he did like I mean he had almost perfect performance.
Yeah.
So yeah, it for sure play part. So now how big, I don't know. It's just like I think the game plan that he went in was so good. Like those tips to the body, those body kicks, and that was always like probably triggering in Usman's head when that high kick will come, and
Right.
that allowed him like to attack the body and those leg kicks, and that like John Jones style is going for the knees, and we know that Kamaru have bad knees, I guess like this is the third guy that we are talking about the knees, like
Yeah.
first Mokaev, then Dushko, and now Usman, I guess maybe 286 is like it should be like UFC knee night
Yeah.
or
The
knee.
only thing that was missing was like a broken leg or something. I mean,
Yeah,
I guess Mokaev, that's the closest we got, but oh man. What do you think about some of those fouls he was doing? The glove, grabbing his fingers inside the glove, grabbing the fence, all the nut shots. Like, do you think it had an effect on the fight?
maybe that's, but like he got point taken. I think that's the biggest. Like those that one nut shot. I think it was like Kamaru lowered the level.
Yeah.
And it was in the same round, which is like, and probably like also that point deduction influence Leon to make that mistake. Because like he was probably feeling like that pressure of point deducted, and but I think like it was just like in the same time Usman was lowering a little bit the level and that landed where it landed.
It was interesting hearing Edwards talk about it afterwards because obviously he trained to go to Usman's body a lot and kick to the body, and he did that beautifully. but he was saying he expected some of these body kicks for Usman to act like he got hit in the nuts. So he was already prepared for like, all right, Usman's gonna act like he's getting hit in the nuts every time he kicks to the body, and so he's preparing for that. I think Herb Dean fucked it up a little bit. I think Herb Dean he took the point, which is the right call, but I think he should have reset them back on the ground. Maybe
You
it
know,
didn't make a difference. Maybe it did, but you don't think so?
no, I think if you take the point, you took the point because like he lost the position, and you cannot put them in the same position.
Yeah, but it's like you just let's say if he went down to the ground, he would have sapped all of his not all of his energy. He would get more tired for sure if he had to fight his way back up. And maybe that's worth losing a point for. Like is it calculated cheating maybe?
I mean, if you don't cheat, you're not trying, So
That's true.
let's make it like that. But I think that that's good enough. If he took 1 point, so basically more or less. I mean, in the long run, we have match, but for that round, that was it. Like he took the point, so more or less, like I think it's a proper punishment for that grab tag. Is it
Yeah.
really changed the effect of the match? Maybe he will be more tired because, like in the fifth round, to be honest, Edwards looked more tired to me. But like he even in those moments, he stick to the plan, and I think he did good. Like by the eye, maybe Usman was even more tired, but he had a better poker face. For me, what it looked like that Edwards like was more tired, but like he still managed to stay to the game plan that was perfect and get that victory.
Yeah, I think he showed beautiful technique, including the cheating, but outside of the cheating as well, just like him able to stuff the double legs and the single legs against the cage. Like you could tell he really leveled up between this fight and their last fight.
Yeah, and that's what they made a big deal about, like and I think they even like quoted Teddy Atlas that he tweeted like that every champion when they win the title he get like 20 or 30% better overnight. Just that confidence, believe in yourself, and what even I was saying in our show before the fight. I think the mental aspect is going to be the big in this fight, and I think that's how it end up at the end. Like just that confidence and perfect game plan uh, gave him another victory and managed him to defend his title.
I've a couple more questions for you on this fight. Did you hear about Kobe Covington getting the next title shot, and what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, like I see that also Edwards is not happy about it. I mean that I think that's very interesting. Like I know that Edwards is talking about going to Florida, watching Masvidal, that he wants that matchup or someone who deserves more, who was more active.
Hmm.
But I think that's gonna make really interesting stylistically, and like put the eyes on that fight. Like Kobe is like really interesting character that people follow. So and I think the his style it's really interesting. And I was just thinking about that we're gonna probably talk about tonight, but I don't want to say anything until I see the odds, because then I'm gonna even go deeper. But like what I can say now, I think it's gonna be maybe it can go two ways, just like Kobe is gonna be more grinding for going to takedown, but like his stand up is less dangerous than Usman's, so that's the option that Edwards can put to his advantage, but also like that grinding, I think that's gonna get him tired more than what Usman was doing, just like going, grabbing, and then it's like you're dealing with the power. With Kobe, you're dealing like how to say with the cardio and changing angles and everything that probably can get you more tired if you're not high level wrestler, because this you're just going one direction more or less. And what he did beautifully, defending every Kamaru's try. Kobe is gonna give different angles, different outputs, and it's just gonna be more taxing, on cardio and more grinding, so that's why I'm like a little bit afraid. But when I see the odds, then I'm gonna think a little bit deeper. But just like that's the two scenarios that I see now from the first hand.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with Kobe Covington getting the title fight here because he is near the top, and stylistically, it's a great match. But I'm ready to see some of the newer welterweights get a crack, like Shavkat. Jack Della has some more work to do, but like that era of fighters, that generation, I can't wait for them to break through to the top. Um, so we know what's next for Edwards. What do you think should be next for Usman? Are you surprised he didn't retire? Do you think that he should continue fighting, or who should he fight?
Honestly, I don't know. Like he's really in the bad spot right now. Like with the younger guys, um, I don't know. Can he even get motivated for those matches? Like because honestly, I understand your side and your point, but like honestly, like Shavkat is only how to say recognizable to the hardcore fans. He's still not in a mainstream. Don't have those eyes. Like, and it's just like this violin he doesn't play it yet, so that's why I think they keep them away. Also, like who is else in the mix?
I mean, Gilbert Burns, if he wins against Masvidal, maybe they give him another title shot. If Masvidal wins, I think for sure they give him Edwards.
Yeah, yeah, I mean both of those guys, because and I think honestly for me the worst matchup for Edwards is Gilbert Burns,
Mm-hmm.
if you ask me, and I would like to see like if the Gilbert wins this one, and I think he will. um and if he gets crack of Leon, I think he wins that fight. I think he's really bad matchup for Leon Edwards because I don't see that Leon can knock him out. And if they got to the ground, I think he can get finished pretty easy by Gilbert.
For sure. That's one thing I wish Usman would add to his game. Is his wrestling was very dominant for so long of his career, but he never really had a serious submission threat. So I do agree. Like that's something interesting that Gilbert Burns brings to the table. He's high level grappling, not just in MMA, but even when he was competing in like pure jujitsu. He's a world champion there, and he does really well there too.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Next up, we got one of Usman's boys, Justin Gaethje, pulling it off against Rafael Fiziev. I keep saying Rafael. It's Rafael. He's not Brazilian.
I mean, I guess if you want to go, you can go each way. Like I
Yeah.
think I don't know even how would you go Rafael on Russian. Rafael.
I don't know. That's your
I don't
people.
know.
I don't know.
That sounds like shooting. Um, yeah,
uh,
this is
our,
the fight of the night. Like
was,
expected.
yeah. This was Gaethje. This is the calm Gaethje. If you listen to him afterwards, like this is him calm, being chilled, and yet he still found a way to make it a bit chaotic in there at times. Um, are you surprised at the decision?
I pulled a couple cards. Honestly, he won third round, and like
Oh,
if
for
we
sure.
go to the pride rules, like he would win the fights.
Yeah.
First two rounds, like by the eye, it looks like Rafal Fiziev was winning. So second round it can go both ways. Like even I think I saw, if I remember good, some referee gave all three rounds to Justin. So it was weird. I think in that fight was just like crazy. And I think Justin needed some time to adjust to speed of uh, Rafael, and after that he just like took it over. I guess that experience, what everybody forgets, like it has a huge play in the fighting game. I mean in any game, like experience is something that you cannot buy. You need to be there to go through it. And that's we saw that in that fight, like clear and precise. You know, like how he took over, how he adjusted, and in third round, he really busted him up. You know, and I think if it went 5 rounds, he would even finish him in the fourth or the fifth. You know,
Yeah.
and honestly, like my mistake before, like or I think during the fight, I just throw 25 on Justin. Unfortunately, I didn't vent with more, but like I guess what I was saying before that he is done. I guess he is not done. You know, because I was thinking really he's slowing down, uh, but obviously he still have fight in himself. I don't
Yeah.
know how. You know, he was like in so many crazy wars, but we're gonna see. I would really like to see him in the next one against some high level opponents to see, you know, can he finally uh, get that title, you know.
Yeah, I think he's definitely not done. Like he showed a couple new tools that we haven't really seen that much out of him. In the third round, I think he really beat up Fiziev with a jab, and he doesn't usually throw that many jabs in his fights, and that was the key takeaway for me. Also, the takedown at the very end. I think we even talked about like he's probably not going to go for a takedown. It would be smart to try it, but he never goes for takedowns. I want to say he went for 2 or 3 takedowns, and at
Yeah,
the end of the fight, he actually hit one. So, good
yeah.
for Justin Gaethje, you know.
I think in the second round that he or second round he tried like just to put it there, you know, like I think it would be great tool for him. Like he like we talked previously, like he doesn't like to go because like he said like it's too much taking out of his cardio. But
Mhm.
like what he did like against the ref, if it goes easy, go for it. But like just like to put there like I'm gonna go for takedown, you know, and
Right.
then if you lower the level to go like with the leg kicks or combining like maybe high kicks, you know, just change the level, go for the high kick, you know, it would be great for his game, you know, and I really don't know why he don't mix it up a little bit more, you know, it will really make him easier to combine his strikes, you know. But I
Yeah.
guess maybe after this fight, you know, like and he even got a takedown, maybe he's like, okay, maybe I should do it. We will see. It's gonna be interesting, really, to see him. I think Dustin Poirier is maybe the best option for him now, but we're gonna see what's gonna happen.
Dustin Poirier, Patty Pimblett. That would be funny.
That would be really funny. I think yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, easy money for him, to be honest.
Yeah. As a fight, some fights I want to see like the best fight the best, or the next guy fight like the guy above him. But then also I want to see Patty Pimblett fight Justin Gaethje. I just think that would be funny.
I mean, probably very funny. Like I think David Pimblett would like retire after that fight.
Yeah. Or maybe he'd win on the judges' scorecards. Who knows?
I don't think it's gonna go to the judges.
That's true. Oh. Well, another fight. I think the only fight actually on the main card that didn't go to the judges. We got Gunnar Nelson versus Brian Barbarena. This was at the end a little bit of perfect, like textbook jujitsu S mount armbar sprinkled in with some beautiful elbows. I love the way that he was using that kind of like reverse crossface or just posting on the head and then, sitting into those elbows. That was beautiful. And then just a textbook armbar at the end. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, like I expected fast and furious and easy victor for Gunnar Nelson, and that's how it was. Like I think I even play under a round and a half and under 2.5, and it was easy money. You know, I
Mhm.
just like I said, like styles make matches, and I don't even know why Barbarena accepted this matchup. You know, like I was sure he's gonna lose. You know, like he didn't have anything for Gunnar Nelson, to be honest. Like and easy victory for Goonie Nelson, you know, and I'm glad. I don't even know. We said everything about this match even before it happened, exactly how it's gonna happen. Beautiful armbar. We can add just that and go to the next one if you ask me.
Yeah, we could. Other than like Gunnar Nelson, where do you feel like he stacks up in the welterweight division? We're naming a lot of names that could be possibly fighting for the title, deserve the title. Where do you think Gunnar fits into that?
That's really like maybe him and Usman.
Him and Usman, yeah. Him and
Now, like
Shavkat, maybe give him one of the up and comers because Gunnar Nelson, he's been in the UFC for a while now. He hasn't
yeah,
gotten very close to a title fight, but against those guys that are like on the rise, like those are interesting fights to me. Or yeah, Usman would be an interesting fight as well.
yeah, I wouldn't like really combine him with Shafhat or some of the younger guys coming. Um, I think like him and Usman could be interesting one. I don't know how is he ranked. Like that's something that we can check and see. Give me just a second. But I think like older like guys and more like how to say um, uh, 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 let's see, he's not even in top 10.
Really?
Nope, not even in
And
top 15. That's weird.
it's crazy because a lot of the guys that he's fought are, in title contention, like Gilbert Burns, Leon Edwards, Damian Maia. A lot of those.
Yeah, i- honestly, I'm really surprised by this. I was thinking that he's in top 10.
It could be a matter of like, he's not the most active fighter. And that's why I'm always excited to see Gunnar Nelson. He doesn't fight a lot, but when he does, he has a very peculiar style, that hardcore like karate style, but mixed with in submission grappling. That's something that I was thinking, like, man, I kind of hope Conor McGregor can get back to that karate style. I guess like a lot of people talk about that, his karate stance versus his boxing stance, which didn't really work for MMA too much, but just got me thinking.
Maybe I think Shavkat is gonna fight Belal. I think that's the next fight for
Really,
him.
that's a nice fight right there.
Yeah, I think it's not confirmed, but like I think that should be our next fight.
Bilal is a madman. He wants to fight everybody. Everyone that's a fucking hard matchup, he's calling them out.
Yeah, I mean, like, and he's improving from fight to fight. We saw in his last fight, like, he had, like, I think, performance of his life, and I think now training with Khabib and the crew over there lifted him on the new level. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I think that's really good matchup for him. We can see like exactly like is Shavkat hype train right or not? You
I mean,
know,
he's already derailed one guy's undefeated streak, Sean Brady. Why not do another one?
Yep, I agree with you completely. What's the next one that we had?
Speaking of perfect segue, derailing some undefeated streak, we actually got Jennifer Maia versus Casey O'Neill. This is actually very much how I saw it playing out. Unfortunately, like Casey O'Neill, a very promising fighter. She's got that hard like pressure fight coming forward, but against Jennifer Maia, who just has really good solid ones, twos, and adding in the uppercut in this fight, she was running into punches all day. And she was kind of proud of herself, which is admirable. Casey O'Neill coming back 9 months after not being able to walk because of her ACL injury. 9 months, bro. That's very fast after an ACL injury. Against Jennifer Maia, who's a former title contender, Invicta FC champion. She's no joke. So I think it's just a little bit fast for Casey O'Neill. I hope her stock doesn't drop too much after this because she's a very good fighter. But Jennifer Maia was there all day to just punch her up. And that being said, I was not completely sure that the judges were gonna give it to Maia. How about you?
No, I was. We talked a little bit before. We start recording. Yeah, like it looked like 100%. Like Casey got so many times. Like you said, she was moving forward, but her head was moving backwards.
Yeah,
Like really, like Jennifer had like perfect game plan. Similar what we were talking about Leon Edwards. Like she really stuck to her game plan and that's it. Like beautiful performance. Uh, I'm really pissed because I think I played under 2.5 rounds because
yeah.
I didn't want to put on either of them, even though I had to put it in our
Yeah.
between and putting. on the parlay, but like I really, like I said, it can go either way, you know. So I don't know, like maybe like I was listening some guys that sometimes I look like what we can do better with our show, and they're like avoiding betting on women, on the
Really?
women MMA. Yeah, and I think maybe they're right. You know, it's just like so many weird results. You know,
Yeah.
you can never like be sure what's gonna happen. I really like only going for the underdogs, like I did like a few weekends ago, and how big was underdog against Valentina Shevchenko? I think she was like
Maybe minus 350, something in that range, or
yeah,
plus 350.
I think that's only like chasing like those big underdogs when you think that has a sense, because like with the woman they have such a big oscillation, you know, like there
Who's
is.
do you remember who was the underdog in this fight, or was it pretty even?
I think we're gonna see later. I think Casey O'Neill was slight underdog, if I
And
remember right.
even though I saw, like, you could see Maia was punching her up, I thought it was clear that she was winning, but just because of the forward pressure of Casey O'Neill, and judges don't always get it right. It's in the UK. Casey O'Neill is Scottish or Welsh, and you just couldn't be too sure. It made me think of, I believe it was Diego Sanchez versus, I want to say maybe Gilbert Melendez, and it was a similar thing where Diego kept coming forward, getting popped in the head, and he won the fight even though he was getting bludgeoned. So they don't always get it right. I'm glad they got it right last night.
No, I think they were pretty big. I think they even didn't look like that forward pressure for these referees didn't count,
Yeah,
and that's why I pulled the scorecards, and we can go later to that. Like the first fight, and I think that it's next on our list. Vettori and Dolidze. Same, like I was almost certain that Roman won that fight. You know that because he had a forward pressure. He was like I think even more significant strikes um, with the power and everything. Like Vittori had like low kicks and like here and there, but he was moving backwards constantly.
mm,
You know, I was 100% sure that Roman won that fight, but like when I saw on the judges' scorecards, and I was like, and that was the first fight on the main event, and I was like, okay, they really look those leg kicks, and they don't count that much on the forward pressure, and that's exactly like in Maia fight and later in the Usman fight, because Usman was also pressuring forward, you know, but some referees would look that very much. These referees didn't look that. That's
yeah,
why I was like I said, like even before announcement, even by minus 1 point because of the grabbing the fence, I was sure that Edwards won the fight.
mm,
Here, that's what I saw. I really like believe that Roman had done enough to win that fight. I really don't know how they gave the victory to Marvin. You know, it was pretty close, but like still, you know, when you look that it's close, who was pushing forward, who was having more significant strikes. Like he hurt him a couple times. I
yeah.
think he would put a lot of guys out. Only Vettori and what we said before the fight. What's his like? You know, when you see he is in top, but like he doesn't have anything like to say great. Only his toughness, and I guess that's what brought him the victory in this fight.
And I was actually impressed with Roman Dolidze because I didn't think his striking looked that great against Hermanson, and obviously he was able to win via TKO from that funky submission position. But in here, there's a long duration of striking, and he looked much more comfortable here than he did against Hermanson. So nice to see that improvement. I thought he won the first round for sure. And then the other rounds were so close, hard to score, to where I was just waiting for like a really big moment to kind of decide the round. And it was just a close fight.
Yeah, I agree. It was close, but like still, when you look those big moments,
Yeah.
he had them.
Hmm.
Vettori didn't, so I'm really surprised. But like again, like you said, it was really close. So it is how it is. I think those kicks really pay off for Vittoria. I guess his trip to Thailand really paid off. And talking about that, yeah, we can see like even one referee didn't even give the the first round to Roman Dolidze, so that's surprisingly like. But I'm gonna really like in next couple days I'm gonna look this fight again, because how I say and what's really important to see how the referees are looking. That can help you. If you see the pressure or control or whatever, I'm not surprised that in future we're gonna see also like if the people have like a dominant position, like even like a back, and somebody is like punching what we had like.
Volkanovski and Islam.
Volkanovski, yeah, and Islam. That's the guy on the front because I heard like even couple people are saying like that maybe that round should go to Volkanovski, and I really see that point. Like
Mhm.
because basically Islam was just like surviving, and like I said before, that was like only way and really like perfect moment that he took that back and ride the whole round to save him to survive and win that fight because we saw what happened in the fifth round. So
Yeah.
we can see like rules changing, and I think even now I was like thinking even this fight when the points was deducted that it's gonna be again another draw because you see like how the gambling is becoming like a
Mm.
and betting big deal. I think like a lot of funky things are gonna happen. Maybe it's like a conspiracy, but no, that's a reality. I think the rules are slightly changing. Like we have now more 10-8 rounds. We have more draws, and it's all with a reason. Like I think they're just changing the rules to get more of those things. Like I think every change, it's not to better. It's just like with some reason. So
Yeah,
also,
and in case it was missed on the broadcast, one of the judges actually did give Usman and Edwards a draw, and in large because of the point deduction, but still draw nonetheless.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And yeah, exactly. 47-47. So it was close to be draw,
Hmm.
So again, like, and this is the referee that gave all three rounds, David Letterby, that he gave all three rounds to the, what's his name?
Vettori?
Vettori. Yep. Or no, they're changing.
Or-
No, this is Paul Sutherland. Okay, my mistake. Okay, because like I thought he is here. Okay, so it's not the same referee. My mistake.
he gets a pass for this one. I feel like
Okay.
if you're a judge, you don't want people to know your name, right? If people are saying your name, that means you're fucking up, right? You just want to be nameless, get the right score. Otherwise, if people are paying attention, you might be a crooked judge.
Yeah, you know how I'm bad with the names, but there was like a big deal about one referee that they brought him day before, older guy. Who the fuck it was? Like
A
few
ref
events
or a
ago.
judge?
Hmm?
A referee or a judge?
Or judge.
I mean, Adelaide Bird comes to mind. She's bad. Doug Crosby, he's bad.
I think Doug Crosby. Yeah, he
Um,
was he was the one, and there's like a controversy about like they flaw him in, like older guy, and then every time when there is some controversy, his name is there, So I think we're gonna see more and more bullshit happening, and it's
yeah, I
just
think
like
as the UFC starts getting investigated for all like the fight rigging because of James Krause, I think it should be the athletic commissions and the judges also being kind of investigated.
no, I agree, there is, and we're gonna see, there is a lot of money, there is a lot of shit,
Yeah.
so I think it's gonna be more and more things that we can talk about, but I don't like to talk like again until I really start digging up and then have some solid opinion about it. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say leads because like you know, but like what I can pull from this is just like what I wanted to say and what's really important to see like how the fights are going and what's scoring, and then like especially if you're doing live betting, like you can do make a decision sometimes really good, even though it looks by the eye, I guess for me it looked like that Roman is winning the fight, but with Vittori won it. Like same like you thought like that in Maia fight that she might be gonna lose. I was sure that she won that fight. That's why I was like surprised that you even said like I was like no for me.
Only because like this is how little faith I have in the judges to get it right. Like I knew Maya was winning. She's landing more punches and she's doing more damage and she's landing more often, right? But the judges fuck it up. But Alex, you know a score that they can't fuck up and a score that I love.
Yeah, me too, and that's what I'm always trying. Finish the fight. I mean that score.
This is
I
the
don't like
score I love. Actually, this is
that was a
me
good one. I don't like that score.
5-1. Uh I got to give you some credit, Alex, because you switched it up after Wednesday. So these are our picks from Wednesday. As you can see, I was able to get a little bit more right, but Alex actually switched his picks after the fact to Gaethje, and you kept Dolidze, right?
Yeah, but I think he won. So I won this one, even though I gave it to you.
Well, you know what? I like the judges for this one, so this score
I
looks.
was honest, I was like I was thinking to put or to skip. I even went back to find like what's exact score. I was thinking it's now 4-1, but I guess it's 5-1. I don't know how fast it came to that five.
I mean, you're the one keeping score, so I'm just enjoying the score right now.
No, that sucks, because but like it's not fair. You're always playing on the favorites.
Bro, I pick who's gonna win. That's all I do.
I'm
And
just
even
trying.
if you pick the favorites, you still win some money. All right, and you can take that to McDonald's.
I don't want to go to. I don't want to go to the good restaurant. That's
Taco
why I'm going.
Bell, we're having that Mexican culture in our lives, so Taco Bell, that's a good option.
Nah.
Have you had Taco Bell, Alex?
Yeah, I did, but
Okay. Well, the thing is, if you're looking for authentic Mexican food, it's not authentic, but it is delicious. So that's my take.
not in my book. I'm too much how to say spoiled
Yeah,
in
I'm
that.
just.
I need to take you to one good restaurant in Pilsen. I don't know the name now. It's cash only. It's like best
Okay.
best Mexican meat I think here in Chicago.
Is it cash only? You don't remember what's called? Canton Regio. Is it on
Uh,
18th?
no, it's in Pilsen. I don't know which street. I'll find
Oh
out
yeah,
for the
this
next
one's in
time.
Pilsen. I frequent Pilsen quite a bit nowadays. But yeah.
Yeah, okay. Then you have to go to this restaurant. It's like amazing carne asada. So
Yeah.
and chicken is also good, but I like more those carne asadas. It's I think best in town.
I think that's probably why Serbians and Mexicans get along because they both love meat so much. There's so many different ways to make it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, that's no doubt. Okay, so let's move this. That's what I want to finish. You're talking about.
Dude, I'm hungry, and I just came from dinner too. But on to the next card. We got this next week. Main event: Marlon Vera versus Corey Sandhagen. I'm excited for that one. I think you got some stories for us from Sandhagen or about Sandhagen. But the rest of the card looks good. I'm down to pick some women's fights. I know you're trying to not put money on women's fights. No, I'm just kidding. But Holly Holm versus Yana Santos. I guess she tied the knot with Thiago Santos. So congrats. Nate Landwehr, we've talked about his fights before versus Austin Lingo. Andrea Lee versus Macy Barber. That's gonna be an exciting fight. Alex Perez versus Manel Cape. Chidi Enjikawani versus Albert Duraev. How do you say that? Duraev.
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 Yeah, good card. Like, and I don't know. Like, we have now every weekend we have event. That's crazy. Like UFC become like McDonald's. Like
Hey, don't hate on McDonald's.
no, I'm just saying like they start like it's so interesting how now like they're bringing like the product and every weekend. It's so hard to get even excited for the fights. Before like when you wait for something like you're waiting for a good meal and then like you get something. Now every weekend like bam 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 bam. It's just like they got in that hyper production, uh, and I don't know what to say about it. Like it's just like it's too much, honestly. Like and I think the quantity will destroy quality. It's just I don't know how you feel about it.
I think it's kind of hypocritical of Dana White, because he's saying that more belts, if you have more weight divisions, it kind of water downs the product, right? But if you're talking about watering down the product, you have so many fights anyway. And also the whole extra belts, extra divisions doesn't make sense anyway because he just makes or the UFC makes interim belts like it's nothing. So I agree with you. Like too many events, maybe yeah, it's hard to get hyped up as much for all these fighters. So
Let's break it down. Sorry, brother. But like now, what you said exactly makes a sense. You know why we don't have more belts? Because
why is
then
that?
you have to give more pay-per-view points more to the champion. To the
That's
interim champion, you don't give anything. So they're
ah
not getting. So it's like so like exactly what you said, and that's perfect word. I don't know, am I gonna pronounce it right in English?
go
I
for it.
critical is that one?
Hypocritical.
Hypocritical.
Yeah,
Okay. I knew it. That's why I started. I don't know. We like I know, but like when I have to pronounce it, it then just sideways. Yeah, exactly that. Like again, you're creating and you're like putting the product out there. It's just like to make that hyper production, but again, you don't want to give the bigger share to the guys, you know, and it just doesn't make sense to me, like imagine like even that now they have to fight more. Like let's say if you have less people in UFC and let's say they fight twice a year, but you give them more money, so he doesn't have to go fight in 3 times because he's gonna make enough money to live with 1 or 2 fights.
yeah.
It's just like I don't know. Like I was just thinking today about that. Like if you pay them more, then they can fight less, and they can like mm, had a better lifestyle, prepare better for that fight when it comes. Like, is it gonna be 2 times a year or once a year? And it's just especially the beginning guys when they have to accept everything so they can survive and they can train and they can get prepared for the next fight. It's just like I don't know. It doesn't make
This just made me think of I wonder if we're gonna see any of that change because right now a lot of the fighters they're electing to go to the UFC because of the name recognition. But when it comes to the actual money, you have other organizations like Bellator, ONE FC, PFL who are saying that they're paying more than the UFC, and those fighters are happy with what they're getting. So with Francis Ngannou leaving, and he's a star, Nate Diaz leaving, he's a star, and Jake Paul, say what you will about him, a lot of people pay attention to him, and he's now signing with the PFL. I wonder if we're gonna see more stars from the UFC or just more talent up and coming. Say like, forget about the UFC. I'm gonna go to other organizations.
yeah, but how many people get really recognition like that they're like on enter level, you know, like
Yeah.
maybe by they're doing marketing by themselves or something else, they can they can get
Yeah.
better spotlight, you know.
So I wonder how much of if Jake Paul is gonna become like the face of PFL, kind of like how Dana White is the face of the UFC, if that'll make any waves because people pay attention to Jake Paul, at least the newer generation, I think.
I don't know. Let's see, you know, it can be interesting, you know. Any changes on the other side? Now we have one FC coming. I think we already posted in the news. You know, we have like in Denver. I think in April or May. You know, it's getting to the prime. It's gonna get more eyes. So we're gonna see. Like I really like, and I was talking now when I was in Thailand. I was on live event. You know, and it looks amazing. You know, the energy, the all around how you call it their production. I think it's much better than UFC's. So we're gonna see, you know, like that's another big shark in the game, you know, trying to get American market, you know. So we're gonna see some interesting things, and I think Dana White is already with one foot outside of
Mhm.
UFC, you know. Like I think he's not that interested anymore. Like I guess now Power Slap is like his little baby, like newborn son, and we're gonna see, you know. It's just like I think if you do enough years something, you get bored, you know. You need something else.
Yeah.
So let's see how everything will play out.
All right. Well, I'm still excited for this next card, mainly because of really Vera versus Sandhagen. I think that's gonna be an awesome fight for 135.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be really interesting one. We're gonna see again, um interesting mix of the styles, you know. So but like let's talk about it in few days when it's time to talk about that. Do we have anything else on the schedule?
Uh, that is it for the schedule. Yeah, you mean like for the slides?
For the slides, that's it.
That is it, my brother.
Okay,
All
okay.
right, so you guys can catch us on a Wednesday. Make sure you like and subscribe so that shit pops up on YouTube. Also, if you don't already, like us and follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, so you can just stay tuned with some more MMA news as well. All right, ciao.
Good night.